Oh.
Ouch, fuck, I just hit my elbow. That hurt. Oh.
Welcome to Bewitched Banter, where a bunch of old bitches can't move their legs or arms.
I'm just clumsy as hell, but yes, this is Bewitched Banter. It's Krista and me, once again, our dumbasses, talking about the spiritual, the spooky, and all that jazz we talk about. But mostly, we love to talk about cults. It's our secret little, I think, fetish, would you say? Secret ingredient.
The witch's
little
brew.
touch. But anyway, what cult are we covering?
The alleged cult of the Twin Flames universe.
I know you said it's very disturbing, so trigger warning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you not be so emo when you tell it, though?
Oh, fuck. That's kind of my thing, though.
I know, Daria.
I am Daria of the podcast. But also, side note, before I get into it, we also discovered that I'm the Karen.
Yes, we did.
Please tell the story because I'm going to pee myself if I tell it again.
So me and Krista were enjoying a J in her backyard, and we had this epiphany.
Wait, it sounded like you said an HJ. Not an HJ, a J.
I said a J.
I swear I heard HJ.
Well,
who the fuck says HJ anymore? It's a hand job. Anyway, sorry. We were sharing a J.
So we were sharing a J. And we were having this moment, and it's because the whole story came around. We went out to a Mexican restaurant in Scottsdale, Color Martina, for people who are local. Fucking incredible food, amazing cocktails. But anyway,
fuck down on that fondue.
Oh, so good though, and it's pricey, but it's worth every dollar. But me and Krista I ordered a spicy margarita, and it came, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of bummed it's not spicy. And then Krista tried a little bit, and she's like, ooh, that's not very good. And I was like, should I send it back? And Krista tries to give me advice and say, yeah, you know what I would do? I would say, that's disgusting. And we realized Krista is the Karen of the group. Because I was like, I think I got it handled. I was just going to say, I don't enjoy this drink. Do you mind if I have something else? I was like, you're the ratchet one out of the two of us. And that's disgusting.
No, ratchet would be like hood.
But we realized I'm
Bugetto. That's
realized she's the Karen of the group. That's what, when it comes out of the two of us. But then I was saying that it's not like you're actual Karen, because but Krista freaked out about it. It was pretty funny.
No, I just had a moral compass panic attack
because I'm such a Karen.
Oh my god, am I a Karen? But I'm not really. Moral of the story is I worked in hospitality in my younger days, my youth, and I don't know, I just have these standards of how things should be presented to a guest or service. And literally the night before, my roommate and I went down to Tucson, and I was like, bitch, you tell them. You're marching right up to that door and you're checking it.
Okay, you are Karen. Yes.
And I was like, oh, sorry about that moment.
Yeah, I made you apologize to Grace.
So in other news,
Chris is a Karen all along. Oh, that is what, again, Bewitched Banter therapy session. We figured it out.
Well, y'all are going to need some therapy after this cult.
Are we?
Yeah.
It's 911. I got shorty on the dance floor.
Oh. Well, it is. I'm going to take us back a little bit do you remember the episode I covered on soulmates?
Yes.
Okay. This has a lot to do with that. And I really wanted to do this for Valentine's Day, but...
Oh, is this going to be a dating app?
No.
They got people through dating apps.
No. But worse. Worse than that, if you can imagine. Yes, they are influencer types, but it's what they use to coerce people into a lot of horrible things is the internet. So like we were talking about earlier in your episode, that's how cults spread nowadays. So anyhow, this is the alleged, because they have not been deemed a cult, the alleged cult of the Twin Flames universe.
Oh, you're covering one of those shows. Okay.
It's more than a show, actually. Like, obviously, it was a beautiful Netflix docuseries, which was where my inspiration came from. But that docuseries actually really also dovetails into a really incredible Vanity Fair article. And this is journalism done right. This makes me proud of people and women who put their lives on the line to expose corruptions like this. So the Vanity Fair article was by Alice Hines, and she dug into this cult called the Twin Flame, alleged cult because of Twin Flames universe, and this was published in December 2020. So right during the heart of the pandemic, inside the always online, all-consuming world of the Twin Flames universe. Okay, so this is way back in COVID times when people were just starting to pick up on this cult happening through the ethers. But the cult had been well into using Zoom and GChat and Facebook groups well before we were all forced to be. Anyhow, the jury is still out again on whether or not they are indeed a cult, because as you covered beautifully, there's really no legal precedence to indict anyone for being a quote unquote cult. If that were the case, then any religion would be, a religious organization would be indicted for being a cult. So
I mean, I think we've beat that one down like a hammer horse.
Yeah.
Whatever the saying is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the saying? Hammer horse?
Be a dead horse.
Yeah, not hammer horse.
Close enough. Whatever, same shit.
Sounded good to me.
So, those are the two sources. The Netflix docuseries Escaping Twin Flames, and then the Vanity Fair article I mentioned. So, is this a cult that has manipulated some of its members' understanding of their own genders, as ex-followers allege, or is it just the outermost fringes of influencer culture? Let's see. Let's dive in. But before we do, I wanted to recap that OG episode real quick on soulmates, because it kind of, to have that context of what quote unquote soulmates are is important for understanding this Twin Flames cult. Alleged cult. They got money, which is why I keep saying alleged. So
just fucking say cult at this point.
I ain't trying to get sued.
You're not gonna get sued. Come on,
bitch. They're petty.
I'll pay the fees.
Well, okay. That's on record. That's on record. So back in the day when I covered that episode, I don't know if you remember, but there was quite a few of Americans that still believed in the concept of the one or a soulmate, even though they didn't necessarily identify with a religion.
Okay.
That still holds true today. So that said, how many Americans more or less do you think today resonate with that concept of a soulmate or twin flame?
It's hard for me to say because like 50% of people have been divorced now. It's like it depends what age range they're asking.
Yeah.
I would like to know, like, I guess it's hard for me because were they asking all ages? Who was in because I feel like the older people are, the more they'd be like, oh no, because they've had experiences that they realize. Yeah. I feel like 20-year-olds would probably believe in it more than, but that's also probably privileged 20-year-olds who saw their parents have nice marriages and stuff like that too.
Well, just lived experience also, right? Like in my 20s, I never would have thought it, but look at me now. Like, please, no.
I guess we probably talked about this in the podcast. I do not believe in soulmates. And that's not because I don't believe in love, but I feel like that is like a fairy tale.
Yep.
Bullshit. Like, let's be real.
Exactly. And
I think the problem is a lot of people do believe in that, so they don't go into relationships with a smart head on their shoulders. Like, love will win. It's like, no, you need to know these things about your partner. And those things don't work, it's just not going to work out.
And even then, you got to put in the work. I mean, you better work. Like,
work at bat.
Work.
I always laugh when Corey's like, he'll be like, our relationship, it's a lot of work. I'm like, is it? I don't really feel like it is. And then he always says it's a lot of work. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, should I feel that way?
No, I think she got lucky. She got a very in tune partner.
I was like, I'm a lot of work. Is that you're saying I'm high maintenance? Okay. I get it.
She's the Karen of her relationship.
I love Corey, but we all know he's too nice for his own good.
He is. That's the damn truth. I know that's right. All right. Well, the moral of this story is a poll as of 2021 from YouGov said that 64% of American women believe in the idea of soulmate compared to 55% of men. And that was in 2021. So
I mean, I wonder, like, it's kind of interesting, men or less.
Yeah, they kind of cover that a little bit in this article that was recapping that poll, which, by the way, I think that was a good question. I should have looked up the age groups. I did not. It just says American women and American men. But you're probably right. There's probably quite a bit of variation between age groups. You're absolutely right.
Well, I feel like maybe this is a sexist thing to say. We can cut this. But I feel like do you think men handle being single better than women handle being single?
No, actually. Because look at all the men after
they have no friendships.
Their marriages failed. What do? They run and get into another relationship.
Oh,
what?
and
I'm sorry. Who did that? Oh.
No, but actually, you're saying that now. I saw that there's a epidemic of men not having many friends.
Yeah, because
I feel like women are a lot nurture their relationships a lot more than men do.
Yeah.
So a lot of men don't see the value of having a friendship.
Yeah.
Some do.
Next man, you better have a good male friend group or like just friend group in general. So yeah, for real. And I think that's probably definitely part of it too.
Or he needs to be friends with Corey.
Or you should be friends with Corey and also be a badass man to me. And like, it's all good. And
if they were friends, that'd be perfect. They could go fuck off at the bar while we record.
Oh my God, yes. Love it. Okay. So anyways, that's quite an alarming number. Almost 65% of the adult American population, or excuse me, women believe in this. And again, now that I've been through the shit, I don't believe in any of it. In fact, I'm not only skeptical, I'm cynical, which is really bad. But listen, it's just where I'm at. Okay. This is my journey. But the episode I did cover also, I wanted to go over just a little bit of like why is there such a high amount of population that believes in this other than the media that's been shoved down our throat. The historical roots, if you remember, it goes back to Plato's Symposium, where he presented the idea of a soulmate, and that he was stating that every soul was born as one but then split at when they were born. And so it really comes from Greek philosophy all the way back then. And then as it, the years went on, obviously the millennia went on.
Let me guess, it was dun 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 Christianity.
That's the first one listed, but in fact, Judaism and Muslim.
Well, I meant religion. I guess when I say Christianity, yeah, religion has shoved this idea down people's minds.
Exactly.
Like you need to be committed to one person, blah, blah, blah. Well, I also think that I always question if some of that tactic came from disease prevention.
Oh, interesting. That's a really interesting question.
Because I know when I was in Africa in Swaziland, they would go and they don't want to shove it down someone's throat like don't have sex with multiple people. Instead they're like they kind of make it a prideful thing, like I'm a one man woman, like I have one man, one woman, like it's a prideful thing. I should be proud of it. And then they would after a while to educate them not to have, because that's what was spreading is because it's a polyamorous country.
Oh shit, that's a really interesting.
Anyway, it was just interesting, all that stuff, and that's why it spread so rampant there. It's like cultural values also shift. But I was almost wonder if sometimes religion did that because they saw people. But I don't know if they were that smart to STDs back in the day. But maybe they did because they had to have weird rashes and shit. They're all talking about, ooh, stids in the Victorian era. That'd be gross. Ooh, smelly vaginas.
Ugh. Smell like dick, cheese dick.
Oh no, they didn't shower much then. Oh my god, it makes me feel ill.
Well, speaking of 1800s and nasty ass Victorian era plagues, that concept of beyond just soulmates from Plato's era all the way down to now. The term twin flames originated from Marie Corelli's book in 1886 called A Romance of Two Worlds. And this concept then became very popularized in the Victorian era to have this romance and love, and this one passion person was taught to many people, and it gained traction later again in the 20th century through a couple named Guy and Edna Ballard. They were kind of new agey spiritualists that were founders of the quote I am activity that probably bastardized soulmates in some way. Didn't really go into much more detail in that. But one of their students, no shit, her last name was Prophet, ironically. Elizabeth Clare Prophet wrote the book Soulmates and Twin Flames, the spiritual dimension of love and relationships. And in this book, she synthesized Hindu, Buddhist, and evangelical, there they are again, those folks, evangelical Christian beliefs. And that's kind of where the twin flames verbiage took off and became entrenched in all the metaphysical shit that I like, but I'm sort of kind of distancing myself because of shit like this that happens. And
oh, you heard it first.
You did.
Bewitched. This girl is about to be a skeptic.
I mean, It's coming. I mean, it's Bewitchment has been doing his job for 2 years, and I'm like, whoa, I see the world a lot
So
differently.
what are we going to talk
now.
about when you're a skeptic? Politics? That'd be kind of fun.
Right. So now that we know twin flames is bullshit and popped up around New Ageism, let's talk about let's meet the twin flames universe founder, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll start with Jeffrey Divine, aka originally Jeffrey Ayan. He's from Michigan. He was raised in a Catholic household. Go figure, there's that Catholicism rearing its head again. He was like one of those kids that was borderline like a loser but thought he was cool. And so, you know the kid I'm talking about? He was like didn't have much going on but tried to pretend like he did. So he was like a bootleg ass entrepreneur with like fits and starts of startups here, startups there.
Okay. I don't know anyone like that because I feel like a lot of people who are like that are usually like they come for money.
Yeah, and I don't know that he had massive amounts of wealth, but he certainly must have been well off enough to skate by just living in Hawaii and just being he was a gamer and a schemer and always dreamt of having money. One of his high school friends.
Don't we all?
But he was like one of those like dudes.
Obsessive. Like it's his whole purpose.
Exactly.
There's a difference between I want to be rich to that's my being purpose.
Right.
In a sense, it's weird. Good. We have some people like that because we probably wouldn't have as many businesses that were around.
Yeah, great. We have to have the entrepreneurs out there. And so he actually did have an early fascination with Warren Buffett. So that's how extreme his passion for being a millionaire, billionaire was, and the money. And eventually, and he did go to business school to his credit, but he finally decided to liquidate all his assets, move to California, and do a vegan farm.
Oh, okay. 2010 it would still be expensive at a farm.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. No, this is a very modern story, sadly. And the organization.
Oh, well,
still
yeah,
exists.
no showed technology. I gotta put 2 and 2 together, amen.
All right. So again, as I said, he was a gamer and very
Loser.
much into how to make money, but also definitely like losery. Like I said, by 2012, though, he found himself in Hawaii and he changed his name. And
So what? Wahoo?
he went from Jeffrey Ian to Ender Ian Ethos. And
Ender M-I-O Theos?
Ender Ian Theos. He even put that shit on his LinkedIn profile.
Embarrassing. Wannabe.
And in his fucking profile, it basically said like a lifestyle career.
It's kind of weird to think about influencers before TikTok. I guess there's Instagram influencers, but like YouTube influencers back in the day.
YouTube is a fucking... We've been sleeping on that shit. Hey, we're here now. Anyway, he got this from Ender's Game, which chronicles the adventures. Oh, sorry. No, he got this from a game he played called Ender's Game. From Jeff Ian to Ender Ianethanos, and then chronicled all his hippy-dippy adventures in Hawaii on a blog. So that's the divine quote male counterpart of the Twin Flames universe. There's also his current wife, and they proclaim Twin Flame, the divine female counterpart, Shalia Divine. Previously, her name was Megan Plant, and he was out in California / Hawaii. She was also raised in a Catholic family, but she was no shit into Reiki, yoga, psychedelics, and guess where she lived for a little time?
Phoenix.
Close.
Flagstaff? Sedona,
because she was a self-proclaimed healer and spiritualist.
Oh, yeah, that's where all the crooks go.
Honestly, sadly, I think that's not far off. Even though
that'd be the gold mine to go.
I'm trying to do another reading up there
because people believe in vortexes. We should do vortex stories. Oh my god, yeah! I'm gonna shit on it the whole time.
No, we need to go up there and actually investigate.
Yeah, investigate what? The air.
Yes, and see if you feel anything.
I'm gonna bring my magnets.
Yes, your dowsing rods. Yes.
Yeah, because I have so much of this detective spiritual shit.
The ghost adventures.
We need to go up there and see those vortexes.
Ghost hunting hit. Get it now.
I feel like you do not believe in vortexes.
I believe in energies.
But do you believe in vortexes in Sedona?
I did. now again, thanks to Bewitched Banter, my skepticism has grown quite a bit. So
We've never covered vortexes, but I don't believe in them already.
I certainly believe in energies, yeah. And that's from the little I know about them is what they are.
Energy is like a fucking scientific thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't believe in like that dark spirits coming to get you.
That I still have problematic letting go of, but I know it sounds here.
Isn't it freeing not to believe that?
This is how far I've grown, though. I now am like questioning. Oh no, that's stupid. But
no, what you want to say is that you think numerology is bullshit now.
Honestly, I don't need to cut it. It was like you could. It's just like horoscopes. It's for funsies. You could say anything about anything or anyone.
But while okay, so I have to dive into this for a minute. Did you think it was bullshit when you were first listening to it all, or was it when you watched it back?
When I watched it back. Yeah, when I was editing. Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't know. Maybe it's because it was a different. It pulled me back out of it, and I could see it.
Like because it's like you're eager in the moment. Like people who want their like you're eager in the moment to like hear this stuff because you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna learn about numerology, this belief I believe in, and you're like excited, and then it's like you're eating it up, and probably like editing, you weren't really thinking that.
Yeah, editing, I was like whole new lens.
So did you see where I was thinking the whole time?
Yeah, I did. Honestly, I was like, oh. But I am very curious to at the end of the year in December. I want us to compare notes. We'll set them aside for now. We don't even need to discuss them. But I just want to know. I want to see. I just want to see. That's all.
Would she say it's gonna be my best year ever?
It'll be a really good year for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And supposedly I'm supposed to be traveling. On what money? I don't know. And also money's supposed to be popping out of thin air for me. Where's that?
You're gonna be a bum.
I don't know. I don't know
You're
where that's
at. Jumping the railroad course.
Oh no, man.
She's gonna be traveling a lot.
On that train. Midnight train to Georgia.
Okay, this is another bad joke, but I was like, oh, you're gonna be an Uber driver. So you're traveling.
Then I must admit, I might be an Uber Eats driver.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it.
No, but that's how my travel. That's where my miles are going.
Yeah.
Woo, Lord.
Not...
Okay, Shalia. we
Shalia,
digressed.
which bitch?
Shalia Divine is the divine feminine of this Twin Flames universe counterpart union. She was PS, as I said. Her name was
Pissed or Piced?
PS.
Pissed?
Like, no. Just like literally PS, by the way.
Oh. I was like, what? So, well, the way you said you had an accent on it, you're like, PS.
I did?
Yeah, you were like, she was PS'd.
Oh, weird.
And I was like, is that pissed? Or are you trying to be like cute?
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Oh, honey.
But you know what?
Oh, honey.
My kids talk like that, so maybe. Anyway, she was encouraged by her spiritual guide, by the way, in Sedona, to change her name to Shalia from Megan. So we have Jeff and we have Shalia, okay? These are the people that founded Twin Flames Universe. Jeff and Shalia met in 2012, and they quote-unquote blossomed very swiftly into a profound connection.
When you're so desperate for love, I can imagine you would deep head. I do think that's sometimes people get in a position in life where they're so desperate for love that they hear 3 good things about a person. They're like, oh my God, I love you. And it's like, I'm sure you've dated people like that in the past. I feel like when I was like, those people, you're like, oh, calm down a little. Like, yeah. Why do you like me so much?
So much, yeah.
Like, you can like me, but like that into me, it screams
a little creepy.
You're desperate for love, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Deep.
I don't know. You never met people like that? It turns you off. You're like,
I don't know. I don't feel like anybody liked me like that. That's like a subconscious problem I have, or a deep rooted like insecurity.
No, I'm saying they didn't like me. I said they were so obsessed with the idea of love, not me.
Sure.
I'm not saying, oh, they love me that much.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I've never experienced that. So, anyway, I've seen other people, but I don't think anyone's been, that I was like anyway.
I think
we digressed a fuckload as usual. Hi, welcome back to the Twin Flames Universe story.
Yeah, we went on tangents, roller coaster of emotions.
But it does, we won't say names, but 2 of our friends who don't listen or watch are in relationships that they think / want to have a twin flame soulmate, the
And it's
one.
not.
And we're both sitting here like, how do we as friends tell them that shit ain't real? Like, that doesn't. It's not,
Why am I getting a
it's like-
thumbs up a like right now?
where?
On the screen, your screen, it popped up and it gave me a thumbs up.
That's weird.
We're not live, are we?
I don't know. You pressed it.
That's the weirdest thing I just ever saw. It was you talking. It was a thought bubble came up and it was a like. Is that from your phone filter?
No, my phone's over there and my mouse is
No,
over
but your
here.
phone's recording you. Is it like a filter?
Maybe.
Okay, because I did not just see that. It was like a thumbs up. It was like, you got a like.
Amy believes in ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts. I just feel like
Just fucking with you. But anyhow, so Jeff and Shalia, okay, they founded Twin Flames Universe in 2012. They met through the internet, no shit. He sent her some crass ass meme and she fell in love. Oh my god.
oh my god, Becky.
Because she needed love so bad. She took this man's bullshit, this average ass white man's bullshit. I can't. Again, the audacity of an average white dude. Like,
Yes, the thing you need to channel for interviews. White male energy. Average white male energy, and you get the job.
What do you say you do here? Nothing. You're hired. All right. So their romance blossomed very quickly, but they apparently made their first video, which they would go on to make thousands of videos, obviously, for this coaching that they would promote. On their shared journey in 2014 is when they finally start. They met and they iterated around the concept. Remember, he's the business geek and she's the spiritual one, right?
Okay.
So this is how they landed on Twin Flames eventually. And so they said that in the years that followed their union, they proclaimed this marriage and harmonious arrival of their daughter, which was actually just this past April 2023. And through all the years, it was through a company that they founded, because Jeff's, again, member business, the Twin Flames Universe. And it's basically, think of like a self-help group where, or like any cult, you have to buy packages and you have to watch something and you have to do all the videos and you have to then you become a coach, almost like a pyramid scheme for becoming a twin flame coach. And through this, they basically told all their followers that they too can find their twin flame and true love only if they try hard enough and only if they ask themselves what they're doing wrong through something that they coined as the mirror exercise. And
that could, not to interrupt you, I know it probably was done in a really unhealthy way, but if it was done right, some people need that. Okay, dude, like maybe your breath smells, or maybe you need to listen to people while they're talking. There could be like probably little turn-offs people would do they don't realize, so it could be useful. But I could see that if it wasn't done with trained professionals, it could go really wrong.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened. So
because I do think some people need a fucking wake-up call. Hey, people don't want to date you because you're unemployed.
Hey,
maybe you need to like get a job or something like that.
Listen, I'm hustling. I got this. I got jobs now. But no, I hear you. But you nailed it on the head. They're not experts. They're not psychologists, psychiatrists, not trained any sort of that. But they use the concept of a twin flame to coerce people into buying their courses to learn how to pursue their twin flame, of which, P.S., it turns out that they assign their members their twin flame. They have rosters, like plethora of, like any good cult / business, plethora of intel on people looking for love, and they assign this person, so much to the point where Ryan Gosling had a stalker. One of these, many of their members, but one in particular that was covered in the Vanity Fair article I referenced, literally had a restraining order taken out by this guy because they were dating for 2 years and then they broke up.
But was he part of the twin flame, or was he a rando they assigned?
No, it was like,
so someone was paying and they're like, hey, by the way, your neighbor, that's your twin flame.
Yes. And they did that with thousands of people.
Okay, because I was thinking for a second when you were talking about coaching and love stories, it made me think of the girl Rachel Hollis from Wash Your Face.
Oh yeah, what did she do again? She got canceled.
She did a lot of shit, but one of the things that really pissed me off is she would have she had a whole podcast about marriage counseling, and then she was charging these couples, her and her husband at the time, thousands and thousands of dollars for couples therapy, and meanwhile they're getting divorced behind the scenes the whole time. Ooh. That's fucking scummy. And I think her husband actually died of an overdose recently.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
Yeah, and then she got canceled because she got on TikTok and she was like talking about being the best version of yourself. And meanwhile, she was like, I'm above cleaning the toilet. And when she was talking down, like the way she was saying it was like talking down to her house cleaner, like saying, like a lot of people were like, oh, you're such a privileged bitch. And why the hell would you talk like you have a house cleaner? Shouldn't you just be so grateful? Mm-hmm. You're not. The way she phrased it just sounded outwardly so privileged and out of touch. And also was like, as her house cleaner, I think I'd be like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm done.
You clean. I'd throw it in her face.
You think you're better than me?
You
like
want the way toilet brush? Here you go.
It was just the outwardly like, I'm too good for that and someone else can do that job for me.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Ew.
But she did a lot of gross stuff. And I feel like she did like kind of thing like, you're lazy, go work out. I don't know, stuff like that.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Hustle.
All right. So again, they would advocate for the concept of twin flame for their members. And this was an intensified version of a soulmate. And they, again, would assign members, urging them to pursue their assigned person at no matter what cost.
Okay, that's fucking creepy.
Isn't that shit crazy? So
I thought you meant, yeah, that's alarming.
So one girl was dating a guy, and she came to the group and all the coaching sessions and was like, what do I do? I'm not finding my soulmate. Then she started dating this guy, and they're like, that's your guy. You have to do no matter what it takes. Pursue him. And she did.
That's such an unhealthy pressure on the relationship, too.
Mm-hmm. And so he got a restraining order out on her.
But that, and also to be like, that's your person. And if you're not, it puts such an unhealthy position to be like, I have to make this person love me. Like, what a mind fuck for that person. Like, thinking like, oh, they don't love me, but this is my one chance of love. Mm-hmm. And like for people who probably were going to these people because they're so desperate to begin with, or playing on their emotions so much.
So hard. And it gets worse. Okay. So it's not only about emotions. These motherfuckers also mess with your identity to go far as like gender reassignments.
Oh, okay. I think I heard this before.
Yeah. So back to, it gets worse than just forcing people to stalk their proclaimed person at all costs. Okay. One story from the docuseries was really sad. Well, gender is a thing I'm going to get into in a second, but this one story had a member. And by the way, this must have been really hard for these people to come forward. Like any former cult escapee and survivor. But in the Vanity Fair article that was written in 2020 that I referenced, they used pseudonyms and they didn't mention the people by name because they were terrified. In the docu-series that came out 23 just last year in November, they were on camera, a lot of them. And a lot of their stories were so emotionally tugging. So
I can't imagine. That's a lot of heartbreak too.
Yeah. So one of the main people interviewed in the docuseries on Netflix was a woman who worked her way up to a master coach level, basically, after paying thousands of dollars for YouTube courses of how to find your twin flame and how to become a coach to coach other people. Again, pyramid scheme, right?
Mm-hmm. So you get them buying their message.
Exactly. And so she worked her way up, and then they brought her sister in, who was underage, and then forced her sister to be matched or twin flames with this guy all the way in California who was older than her and definitely took advantage of her and give up all her shit and move across country with this guy.
So this older sister probably has a lot of regrets.
A lot of guilt. It was really sad to see.
I can imagine. But sadly, she was like under the spell.
Yeah, and she knows that now, and it looks like they're trying to repair their relationship, but it was just like
no, that's really sad.
Sickening that these people can manipulate. Yeah,
it's like destroys families, and it's just sad.
So sad. And it destroys families in other ways too. Again, back to the LGBT plus side of things. They even persuaded people, but in low-key like conversion therapy, to force people to be attracted to or to be with their partner that to a gender that they weren't even attracted to. And some people have even reported /
was it always like you have to be straight?
Yes.
Or did it go both ways?
No, it's bullshit because they believe this is. So they profess to be supporters of the LGBT.
But what not to their people?
No, they profess that they're supporters, and this is why. They say their rhetoric has drawn criticism, rightfully, because they promote the concept of a divine masculine and a divine feminine, insisting that every partnership must include male and female. No matter what. Even if you're not assigned it, even if you don't identify as whatever they quote assign you as. But they assign your gender to you, essentially. You're the divine masculine. Oh, guess what? This is your twin. She's your divine feminine. You're united. And they do.
But was it always have to be straight male and straight female, or did partner people with like, you go be with this girl now?
They could be, but they would then make the person or one of the partners feel that they had to reassign their own gender because they were assigned as the masculine or the feminine.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. I'm just trying to understand, was this like anti-LGBTQ, like they didn't want people, lesbian couples or gay couples, or is it that they just were like at random, hey, you're going to now be a female now? I didn't know if it was like anti-gay efforts or if it was just at random.
It's not technically anti, but it is in the sense that their whole twin flame concept is based on male and female. Divine masculine, divine feminine. That's it. And that's not always true for everybody, obviously. And so
I guess you're saying they don't have a male spirit, but they would put a male and a male together and just tell one man they had to be feminine.
No, that's what they do, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Even if that person doesn't think they're gay or lesbian or bi, whatever, they force people to be in masculine or feminine roles no matter how they identify.
Okay.
One partner has to be masculine, one partner has to be feminine.
Okay.
If you want to be a part of their group / find your twin. Which, again, as I was saying, many members have gotten gender reassignment surgery, and it was as a result of going through these classes without necessarily doing the work themselves, or if they even believe that. And some of the folks in the documentary were like questioning why they transitioned or identified as a different sex.
That's sad.
Yeah. So anyhow, they went so far to as like not only like that they had to be the ones to assign the people, they would coerce them into getting either reassignment surgery or taking on a whole different identity to fit into those boxes of divine masculine or divine feminine. And only then would they be united with their harmonious twin flame union, as they call it.
Are you going to talk about the strategies they use to do this? Because that's like mastermind manipulation.
Yeah. So they were, as I said, are they cult leaders or are they influencers on the fringe? And so it all really came to life in pre-COVID, but COVID really helped because they were working on their video series in 2020, and they had a really successful face group with 14,000 followers on the group, but then they used their private coaching sessions to sell like upscale pyramid scheme.
Okay, so there's like people are like, I want to live your life kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. And they would encourage people to post like on Instagram only positive stories of their love and like activities and kissing and like romantic bullshit. and they would post it on YouTube and Instagram and like hashtag twin flames. And so very brilliant marketing, I have to say.
And I'm sure so many people like were at an all-time loneliness during the pandemic.
Yep, exactly.
Living alone during the pandemic, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. There's so much more, and like they would use YouTube as influencers, as we've covered, and there were the free videos that were like church videos that they would broadcast from their Michigan home, and then through that they would give like divine messages, and then as it kept progressing and they kept growing followers and money, getting mad cash from these coaching sessions, that was a whole business model. They started to say they were the Holy Trinity. So he was the second coming of Christ. He literally said this to the Vanity Fair journalist in 2020, that he was the second coming of Christ.
God, that's fucking terrifying.
Yep, literally thought that. And that Shalia was the divine feminine, so like Father God.
So they lost their minds a little.
They lost their minds a lot. And then they thought their daughter completed the Holy Trinity.
Wow.
Isn't that sick? And she was just
Well, I feel like it's crazy. It makes me question, is that a story they spun themselves and they believe it? They spun it so long they believe it because they've been touting this to other people, or is it they have a mental disorder in their land? They're delulu, or is it?
I love that you said Delulu. Actually, one of my favorite tarot readers, speaking of influencers, says Delulu all the time.
No, but which one is it?
I don't know.
Is they said? Because I honestly think sometimes there's people who are like, they're so evil. How do they do that? But it's like, I feel like they really believe their lies after a while.
Maybe that's
is it
true.
That, or is it like, or did they all along really? They have this crazy belief, and they really believe this bullshit.
I think that's at the point now that they really believe this shit. I think she probably believed it the whole time, right? Being that spiritual one. Yeah. He was a business guy. He was just like, I see the fucking money off of these new age people. I'm gonna fucking cash in. I'm gonna make this bitch my wife.
I don't know though, because I feel like if you were together and you were that spiritual, you would be with someone who be that spiritual too. If you're like that crazy, I can't imagine some guys. I feel like he has to be crazy.
Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like to be all in like that. I don't know.
Money does real shit, right? Remember, he always wanted money, according to one of his old friends. So
I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know.
But yeah, so the members, as I said, some members have been reported as being assigned a twin flame to a gender they weren't even attracted to. And Jeff and Shalia would claim that they would literally assign people's genders in divine or divine terms. Like, it's no, you don't get to do that. The only person that got to do that is oneself. Like, absolutely not. And yet people wanted a partner again and love so badly that they would conform to these beliefs that, oh, what did I do wrong? And so again, that mirror exercise I was telling you about, it was really unhealthy because, again, not trained folks, but or trained professionals, they would make you question, what did I do wrong? If someone ghosted you, oh, you ghosted someone else. Why did you do that? And they would make their clients and coaches take all the blame for themselves without ever.
It's almost like abuse, so they keep coming back.
Exactly. Yep. So that's like just the tip of the iceberg of the flame, if you will, the tip of the flame.
Tip of the flame. Sounds like a great time. 10 out of 10 recommend.
It is a dip.
A little sizzle.
But honestly, it really helped me reconfirm that I don't believe that there's one human being. But
that would have been like after your divorce, that would have been the thing.
It was after my divorce.
I was like, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
It was absolutely my divorce. But my point is that these people, I don't know. There's Twin Flames Universe is still an organization, still up and running. The website's there. I think and you all should check it out for your own thing, your own knowledge. But I think it's twinflamesuniverse.com or org. Let's double check.
They can look it up.
twinflamesuniverse.com. It's such a bunch of bullshit in so many levels. It's designed well, but the writing is so trashy.
Or what you should do is read the burn book.
Oh, yes. Tell us more
What was
about
that? Her
that.
name by Karen who? Shh.
Hold on.
That was fucking fabulous though. It's all about how like it's like talks shit about all these billionaires, tech gadgets like Elon Musk. People like this girl interviewed them and it's called the Burn Book, like Mean Girl. She's dishing all
Swisher.
Karen Swisher. But
Karen
she's
Swisher.
but she's like giving all the tea about all these tech giants who are like fucked up, like Elon Musk.
That plays into the whole point of the Twin Flames universe where love is an algorithm. And these motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. It's like this social media, there's no, she said so eloquently, no guardrails where there's guardrails and everything else. And she said insurance, banking,
media.
blah, blah, but social media doesn't have that. So these things grow rampant. But now it's at a point it's out there, so we can't stop it. So it's like we just need to educate.
Exactly. Just educate yourself. If anyone's trying to change you and telling you you're not enough, if you need to buy anything to make yourself better.
I don't really feel like any of our listeners would be the people who'd fall for this, though.
I don't know. I hope not. But just like.
But I just feel like they're probably. It's those like hillbillies in the woods we got to be worried about. How do we go out there and educate them? Sorry, and that's not down to people who live in the country. I'm just saying
but
those QAnon folks, like how do we reach those people?
But that's the thing. They're not hillbillies in the woods. They're living amongst us. You said 1 in 4. That means our neighbors.
I know there's definitely a QAnon person on my block. They have the "Don't Try Me" snake flag.
Oh,
and it's like the prettiest yard. It was like this old couple and they have all these beautiful spring flowers. And I was like looking at their yard one day and I was like, it's the most beautiful yard, and they're always out gardening. And then I looked up one day and they had "Don't Try on Me" flag, and I was like, it says gardening loving couple is QAnon.
Yeah, 1 in 4.
I'm like, I just did not put that together, but I guess that's who QAnon can. But it's like Fox News just script a lot of old people who don't know better.
Yeah, that's a cult. Just cults. I don't know. Cults are fascinating as fuck, as we know.
Yeah, that's why we love to cover them.
For me, this one's so egregious because it fucks with love, which is so sacred to any human, but it also fucks with gender. And like that has to do with self-love. So at the end of the day, don't fuck with love, but do not fuck with self-love. That shit is so toxic. And I'm learning through Bewitched Banter, like a lot of the new age metaphysical things that I like is all bullshit because it's been infiltrated by this toxic positivity and cultish mentality of here's how you can love yourself better. No, just fucking love yourself. That's cool. You don't need nobody to tell you that. Just do it. And you damn sure don't need to pay nobody to tell you that. So
yeah, a lot of it's like people looking to make a buck or two when we look at it.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's the depressing.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I swung deep to say I totally forgot it. On that note, should I say goodbye?
I think we should. What do you say?
I had my brain fart and I'll hold it for later. Peace, Bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast, edited and produced by Krista Hins and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.